The Jawbone Up is the new impressive technology in the market of fitness gadgets. It is a thin bracelet-style gadget which is meant to be slipped around the wrist and worn all day long. It is encased in rubbery skin which hides its sensitive motion tracking and activity data crunching components.
Yves Behar, the designer of the immaculate-looking gadget, has undoubtedly produced a piece of technology that no one can ignore. If you're in the market primarily for a fitness device that looks like $1 million, look no further. Bright, happy colors, a rubberized outer skin, a textured feel merged with chrome and metal. This is a serious looker and makes all trackers look obese and clunky by comparison. The device primarily tracks 3 things, namely activity, sleeping and eating, and 2 of the 3 functions it manages very well. Activity is tracked using the motion sensors and accuracy is very consistent, as the same path and distance reflected almost identical numbers on subsequent measurements. Sleep tracking is done using actigraphy, which is a pretty well-established method now. The difference is the smart way in which this is used to create a smarter alarm, of which there are 2. The first activates half an hour before the preset time and decides the optimal sleep cycle phase from which to wake you up so you feel refreshed and rested, as opposed to the jolt that everyday alarm clocks can give. The other is the power nap feature, which does the same, only it wakes you up within 30 to 45 minutes without having to set things up further. Food tracking is done with the help of the companion app, in which one has to manually input the data to tell the device what you've eaten. It's pretty much a dreary task and most people will give up after inputting meals in about 3 days. All this with a battery life of 10 days in one charge makes this a very attractive package indeed. So is all about the Jawbone only great, you ask? Unfortunately not.
On one end of this device, there is a big flat squarish button. Holding or tapping it will put the device into its various modes and simply confirm that the band is alert and powered. On the other end, what looks like a small 3.5 mm headphone jack. The main purpose of this connector is to charge the device's battery with a bundled USB cord.
The device self-defeats itself as there is no screen to look up your data in real time. That in itself is a big deal breaker, as the very idea of a tracker is to give you stats as you move about. This one has to piggyback on a smartphone, tablet or its web app for the user to get actionable data. Then there is the syncing issue. How shall I put this mildly? It's by far the most irritating process ever. The way it works is that you need to remove the band from your arm, remove a clunky cap at the end of the device, insert it into the headphone jack of your iOS device, press the sync button, wait for the sync to be activated, upload the data onto the device, remove the band, replace the cap, put it back on your hand. Way too much work for a data sync. This is a great looking device with a great many excellent features, including its mentor-like feature that from time to time nudges you to move when you have been immobile for a while. And just as we close the review, a new version of the Jawbone Up has been released, and this one has wireless sync. Seems like someone was listening to us and took immediate action. Excellent design. Accompanying software is very refined and stable. Alarm clock feature is fantastic. Long-lasting battery. Its mobile app is intuitive and presents data well. Cons: requires a lot of upkeep, has high failure rate, syncing is cumbersome.